Hopefully what we're going to do today is a review of what you did last year. If you were in my class, we did this for sure. If not, I hope you did. What we're going to do is simplify these square roots. Some square roots come out to be even numbers. Like if you took the square root of 9, then you get 3. But most of the time they don't. So if we look at number or letter A, 24, what goes into 24? 12 and 2, 6 and 2, and then 3 and 2. Okay? Now, how do we know if a number is divisible by 2? It's even. How do we know if a number is divisible by 3? Right, you add the digits. So 24 is 2 plus 4, which is 6, and 3 goes into 6, which means 3 goes into 24. What if we had a really big number, like 6, 8, 1, 9, 3, 6, 4, 1? Just add them all up. What if we add them up and it ends up being 153? And I don't know if 3 goes into that. Add them up again. So that'd be 6 and 3 is 9. Does 3 go into 9? Yes, which means that 3 goes into 153, which means that it goes into the big one. So you could just keep adding those digits until you get down to a number that makes sense. Okay? That's not what I meant. Okay. So 2. How do we know if a number is divisible by 4? Well, 4 goes into 100, which means it goes into 200 and 300 and 400, and anything that's 0, 0 at the end, 4 goes into it. Which means if 4 goes into the last 2 digits, so like 816, 4 will go into that because 4 goes into 16. So you just look at the last 2 numbers. If they're divisible by 4, then the whole thing's divisible by 4. What about 5? If it ends in a 0 or a 5, then 5 goes into it. What about a 6? 6 is made up of 2 times 3. So if 2 works and 3 works, then 6 has to work. There is a really fancy way for 7s, but 7s, it's much easier just to try it. And if it doesn't work, try a different one, because it would take much longer to use the rule. All right, so once we have this broken down, we're looking for pairs of numbers. Do I have any pairs? I have a pair of 2s. I actually have 3 2s, but we're looking for a pair of 2s, or 3 or 4s or whatever. So I circle my pair. And here's where kids make the mistake. For every pair, you bring out 1. So I circle a pair of 2s, which means I can bring out a 2. So I bring a 2 to the outside of the root. Now everything left over stays on the inside and gets multiplied together. So what's left over? I have a 3 left over and a 2 left over. What about the 6 and the 12? They don't count. Anything that factored doesn't count. So the 24 doesn't count, the 12 doesn't count, and the 6 doesn't count. So inside I have 2 times 3, which is 6. So the simplified version of this is 2 root 6. Okay? Looking at 1260, negative 1260, there is something different about B. It's negative, which means it doesn't work, or it creates an imaginary number. We do put imaginary today. Yes. So, what do we know goes into 1260? 2 does. Is there anything bigger? 5 does. 10 does, because it ends in a 0. Let's try 10. 20 does. Maybe we'll do 20. 20 and 50. What is that? Wait, nope, not 50. Is it 63? So 20 and 63. 5 and 4. 2 and 2. 3 and 2. Do I have any pairs? Oh my goodness. Not 3, not 32. How about how about 7 and 9? Man. Okay, try again. Do I have any pairs? Pair of 2s and pair of 3s. What's left over? I have a 5 left over and a 7 left over. So what comes out? 6. Don't forget. I. Do we know what an imaginary number is? So if we had the square root of negative 9, the square root of 3 of 9 is 3. But 3 times 3 is not negative 9. And negative 3 times negative 3 is not negative 9. So this number does not exist. Well, we have to create a number for reasons we'll get into later. So we call it 3i and make it an imaginary number. So hopefully you saw imaginary numbers last year. All right. Root, what's left on the inside? A 5 and a 7, 35. Okay. All right, letter C. What goes into 216? 3 does, because 2 plus 1 plus 6 is 9. But 2 also goes into it. So if 3 and 2 go into it, 6 must. 8 does, so 6 and 36. 2 and 3. 6 and 6. 3 and 2. 3 and 2. Do I have any pairs? Just do 216 divide 6, and you'll get 36. 8 would have worked. Yeah, there are lots of ones that work in this case. Do I have any pairs? I have a pair of 3s. Anything else? A pair of 2s. So I bring out a 6. What do I leave inside? 6i, good. Root. And I have a 2 left over and a 3 left over. 6i root 6. Okay, go ahead and try D on your own. I'll come around and help you if you need help. What do we know that goes into 625? 6125. So 25 and 245. So this turns out to be 5 and 5. And this is 49 and 5. 7 and 7. What can I bring out? A pair of 5s and a pair of 7s with a 5 left over. So my answer is 35 root 5. Okay? All right, go ahead and finish this worksheet. You know everything you need to know. Well, what if everything comes out? Right, so looking at number 7, everything comes out, so it's just going to be 6i because there's a negative.